Yo, guys, this is another surprise. Well, this is actually a surprise episode of Convos with E. I thought this one gave me a certain event gave me a great inspiration, and I'm gonna explain why every man should go into solitude, especially if they're in their 20s. Anyway, before I get into that, I'm just gonna explain the background. So, I like to go through walks after I finish working from home, innit? I like to at least, clear my head, be in silence for a bit, don't listen to no musical inputs. And I was in a corner shop getting a beverage, a nice little beverage, and I noticed a guy from my past, innit? And I realized, I'm like, oh, that's my man, innit? And it's not saying I had beef with him, it's just that, I didn't appreciate how he acted towards me when we were younger. Regardless, I realized one thing going through that walk is that I've got a lot of anger within me. A lot of anger that I need to develop, man. Because I can't lie, man. In this process of like reinventing thyself, innit, you're gonna experience some emotions from the past, innit? Like you're gonna experience some emotions from the past that just conjure up and come up to you and just be like, raw. Like you start having certain emotions. You start thinking to yourself, where did this come from? And that, my friend, is called trauma. It's true. Big facts. But onto the topic at hand. Solitude. I believe every man in their 20s, especially in this era of social media, AI slop, and what's real, what's not real, and the abundance of information, I believe every man should go into a quiet period in his life, in his life where he's not bound by social media. He's in solitude. Every man should go into solitude. Every man should build that time for themselves and with enough, and it should be filled with silence. Let those thoughts ruminate. Not ruminate, but let those thoughts flow. Let those emotions come up and take what you need from those emotions. I realize that, hey man, this solitude period is needed for me to go deeper into my trauma, go deeper into the uncomfortable truths that I have within my life, and really be peace to them, be peaceful to them, and be at peace with them. Sorry, and integrate them slowly into my life. But yeah, solitude is needed, and here's the first reason. Number one, it brings me onto my my first topic actually. You heal from past trauma. You can't move forward without letting go of what's been behind, bro. That's just how it is. What's done is done, and what's past has been past, innit? And at the end of the day's gonna end. At the end of the day, the day's gonna end. So, I'm sorry to tell you so. Which is why, that brings me on to my further point, which is why greatness is ever needed in a man's life. But that's another point on the list. But yeah, man, heal from past trauma. Understand where your traumas have come from. Heal from them. Don't be like everyone else. Don't be a victim of their circumstances. I'm a firm believer that you can't control how you were born, but you can control how you passed away. Or no, you can't actually. You can control. Okay, you can't control if you were born rich, but you can control if you die poor. I'm a big believer of that. And whilst this self-actualization journey is not based on commerce, because I believe that's overflowing too much into the financial stability pillar of a man, but you must attain some sort of pillar, or some sort of you gotta get out of survival mode. Essentially, you gotta get out of survival mode, and in order to do that in this day and age and this society it is largely associated to commerce anyway. Sorry for the noise. it's largely associated to commerce. So you really gotta just like, be able to get yourself out of survival mode and heal from your past traumas, essentially. Brings me on to my second point. Clarity to develop a plan to improve your life, a plan to be better. I'm sorry for the helicopters in the back. You know what I'm saying? Ghetto settings. But solitude gives you that silence. It controls your inputs, essentially. And when I mean solitude, I mean no social media, minimizing your energy to other people and to other friends that you deep down inside know that you shouldn't even be around. But it controls your inputs. It controls what you take in on a daily basis. It controls who you talk to. Gives you containment, so to speak. Thus giving you space and clarity to develop new ideas and to change your life and emerge. I've simply thought of this idea, well, not this idea, but I simply thought of this platform as a way to just reinvent myself and to really document it in a unique way. And that started when I coincidentally changed my phone number and my girlfriend broke up with me. Solitude. I was no longer, and I also got off social media as well. So my inputs have just automatically silenced, and now here you go. I'm here talking to you guys at the beginning of my journey. You know? So yeah, going into clarity really does control your inputs, and it gives you, going into solitude, it controls your inputs and gives you clarity to develop a new plan. And my last and final point, and this is the biggest, if not the most important, crucial point, is to develop a sense of self. In this day and age of the social media era of human history, it has essentially, I hate to say this, I don't want to sound pompous, but it's kind of eroded the sense of self or the like an individual personality. If anything, you now just have people going for the same thing. You know, it's very cliquey behavior, essentially. Everyone's just striving for that sense of perfection. Everyone's chasing an image or lifestyle, that perfect aesthetic. You know, but they don't realize that their imperfections are what make them perfect in the first place, and have the greatness to apply themselves and differentiate themselves from other ideas or from their ideas. And that's by developing a sense of self, developing, okay, how do you really think on a day-to-day level? I'm a firm believer of you get out what you put in. And in order to be above average, an above average man at best, you have to put in above average inputs. That's just how it is. Sorry for that in the back, but you gotta put in some above average inputs, and that doesn't mean grind, hustle culture. No, I mean, when it's time to work, you best put your nose to the fucking grindstone and work. When it's time to pull back, hey, pull back, relax. Again, but that can only be ascertained through solitude. I'm a firm believer of that. That can only be attained through solitude. So yeah, solitude brings you that sense of self. It brings you that integration period. What you've been hiding from, what you've been unaware of, gives you that clarity to give you to produce new ideas to change and elevate your life. Because I'm a firm believer that if this video finds you, you are one of one, man. You ain't no NPC, and I don't mean that in no tape, because even I know Andrew Tate be on some bullshit, but I digress. He was right about a couple things. I'm not gonna lie, but hey, and also you go into Solitude to develop your amazing persona, because I know if you're watching this video, you got an amazing persona. I just know it, dog. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, man, that's my conversation with E. That's me, E, your gracious host. And remember, at the end of the day's gonna end. So just make sure you can look back and you can think you applied yourself in every aspect of life. Be great, my people. Don't be average. Be great. Develop yourself. Figure out new things. Figure out new ideas. And challenge yourself. It's your boy, Eni. Hola. Peace.